Good morning everybody and welcome. Happy Saturday to you. So today for our Saturday bake I'm going to show you how to make carrot cake. All-time classic favourite. Most people I know love a nice moist carrot cake. So cracking on, there's two processes to this. So the first process is to sieve your dry ingredients first. Honestly, sometimes I don't bother doing this, so if you don't have a sieve, don't worry about it. So I have my self-raising flour in here, and of course I forget how much I have. I have 175 grams of self-raising flour, and I'm also going to put in here, I have 3 teaspoons of baking powder and a half a teaspoon of salt, and then my spices, which is going to give it that lovely, individual flavor for carrot cake, is 1 teaspoon of mixed spice and 1 teaspoon of ginger. And I'm going to sieve all these things together in here. And when you sieve, you just you allow more air to be incorporated into your cake, so it will give it all the flour here is going right up my nose. It'll give it a lighter texture, and who doesn't want that in their cake? Okay. So I'm going to add here some raisins, 25 or 50 grams of raisins. If you don't like raisins, don't worry about it. You don't need to use them. 50 grams. I know a lot of people don't like raisins in their carrot cake. Just leave them out, no problem. If you wanted it to be a more kind of toffee-like experience, you could add some chopped dates in there. Be very, very nice. Okay, next step, using another bowl, I'm going to whisk my other ingredients together. So I have my sunflower oil or vegetable oil. I think it's 400 mils. Gosh, no, I really don't remember any of these measurements. 150 mils of sunflower oil. 3 eggs, pop them in here. This is one of those recipes also that it's not much benefit to have a mixer. You can totally do all this by hand. So I'm going to pop those in there. I'm also going to add a teaspoon of vanilla, because you know me and vanilla, we just get along really well. And I have some soft light brown sugar in here. Again, if you don't have soft light brown sugar and you have soft dark brown sugar, it's okay. It's okay. Don't be running out to the shop just to buy the right sugar for the recipe. Soft dark brown sugar will do just fine. So we're going to beat these up, get them all mixed together. You can see there's little lumps of brown sugar hanging on in there. And to that I'm going to add my grated carrot. Now, what's a good idea is, if you want to get the right measurement of carrot, peel your carrot first and take the top and the tail off them and measure them before you start grating them, okay? And then you'll get exactly the right amount. I have, there's probably 2 medium-sized carrots in here, okay? Which is quite, it's quite a lot. You think to yourself, that looks like a lot of carrot for the cake, but that's what's going to make it so moist. Because the moisture in a carrot, there's quite a lot of moisture in a carrot when you think about it. A lot of water content. There's a brown lumpy thing in here, and I'm just going to take it out because I don't really know what it is. Okay. Take all brown lumpy things out of your cooking. Okay. Actually, it's probably was pecan nut. So I have 50 grams of pecan nuts in here that I just broke up in my hand. Again, these are optional. If you don't want to use pecan nuts, no problem. Don't worry about it. One of the things I love about a carrot cake is it's dairy free. So if you have people in your life that need a dairy free option for dessert, this is a great one. Okay, so to this I am going to add my flour, or actually you should do it the other way around, isn't it? You always add your, doesn't really matter. You should always add your wet ingredients to your dry. Make a well in the center of your dry ingredients. But my bowl is bigger here, so I'm kind of attached to that. It's usually better, you have less chance of getting lumps if you make a well in the middle of your dry ingredients and pour wet in. So when you're making pancakes and things like that, it's always better to do it the other way around, not the way I did it. But it doesn't really matter. You know, you can get lumps out, so that's not a big problem. Okay, I'm going to move now to my spatula because that gives me a little bit more control over my beating here. Okay, and that's it, guys. How simple is that to make a carrot cake on a Saturday when you just want to make something nice, especially in lockdown? Thank you to all of you who made last Saturday's bake, the lemon bars. I couldn't believe the amount of people who sent me pictures, and they made them that day. That's amazing. And I love getting pictures, so thanks so much for doing that. It helps also other people to be encouraged that they're easy to make. So I'm going to pop this in here. I've already lined my baking tin with some parchment paper, and I've cut into the size of the paper here so that it stands up nicely without any creases in the sides. Now, you don't have to use a square tin. I'm using an 8x8 square tin, but you don't have to do that. You can put it on whatever kind of tin you have. Some people message me and they say they don't have baking tins. They only have like bun tins. Yeah, make these in your bun tins. Make them individual. No problem. So I'm going to pop that into the oven. It's 180 for about 25 to 30 minutes. So because my aga hasn't been used much today, I'm going to put it in my lower oven because my top oven would be just way too hot yet this morning. Okay guys, I'll be back when that's done. Actually, in the meantime, maybe we'll make the cream cheese frosting for the top of it. If you don't want to have a cream cheese frosting on there and you want to keep it a nice dairy-free dessert, you don't need to do the next step. So you can fast forward to the end of the video. So guys, this is the cream cheese process we're going to get into now. I have 75 grams of icing sugar, 75 grams of cream cheese here in the bowl, and 25 grams of butter. Now you can probably see that the butter looks a bit weird. What I'm doing here is I'm actually moving the butter around here because I want that butter to be fairly soft before I start adding the cream cheese, because I find through error I have found these guys don't mix well together if the butter isn't really soft. So I'm just moving it over and back like that along the edge of the bowl. You can totally use a mixer to do this, but I just thought I would show you guys, if you don't have a mixer, how to do it. So now I'm just slowly incorporating my cream cheese in with the butter, and it's mixing in really well because I've already loosened up that butter. Okay, it's important to try and have your cream cheese at room temperature as well, which I didn't because I forgot, but it does help a lot mixing these guys together. Another little tip about cream cheese that you need to be aware of is don't overbeat it. If you overbeat it, you will separate the liquid content from the cheese, and then you get this runny kind of cream cheese, and we don't want that. Okay, so that's kind of mixed together nicely there. Hope you can see that. It's turned a nice yellowy color. And I'm going to sieve my icing sugar in here. Again, I've learned the hard way. This is one of those sieving moments that you should do, because you will end up with lumpy cream cheese frosting. Not that it matters, it will honestly still be eaten. Definitely in this house it will still be eaten. But if you want it to look really nice, go ahead and sieve your icing sugar. It will be worth it. Okay, guess what the other ingredient is in here? I'm sure my niece Molly is saying, I bet you it's vanilla. She said to her mommy the other day, gosh, Auntie Sheena really loves vanilla, doesn't she? So, yes, the key ingredient now to give it that lovely cream cheese frosting sweetness is vanilla. I'm just going to add half a teaspoon of vanilla in here, just a little dribble like that. Okay, I am getting this recipe from my all-time favorite cookbook. Some of you have been asking me, am I going to do a cookbook next? Wouldn't that be something else? But in the meantime, if you're looking for a good cookbook to buy, I cannot recommend highly enough Rachel Allen. She's an Irish chef. lives down in Cork, has her own cookery school in Ballymaloe, and it is called Bake. Now she does have another book called Cake. I don't like it as much. It's also good and we do have it, but I find with the Bake book, I don't know about you, but do you find with cookery books, you probably have about 2 or 3 recipes that you use out of the book, and the rest of them you just never use at all. So with the Cake book, I find I use every single recipe on there. Now, this is starting to come together nicely, and it's starting to get a little bit liquidy, which I don't really want. So I'm going to just stop it at that there. You know that you've beaten enough when it's starting to go a little bit runny, as you can see there, okay? I'm just going to leave it at that and check my cake. The cake is in now, where's my tea towel? Cake is in now about 10 minutes. So it's a good idea after 10 minutes to just have a look in your oven, see how it's doing, and give it a wee turn around. So look at that, it's starting to rise beautifully, starting to cook definitely around the edges, but not in the middle. So I'm just going to give it a little turn around because the back of my oven cooks quicker than the front. And I'm going to pop it back in again. The smell is beautiful, those lovely spices. So I'll be back. So guys, our cake is done. Mine has dipped slightly in the middle. That means I took it out of the oven a little bit too early, but it's okay, it'll be fine. Nobody will even notice. So I took it out and I let it cool on a rack, and that's important, otherwise it'll go all soggy. And what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to flip it over here onto my cake stand, just like this. There we go. If you don't have a cake stand, don't worry about it. You can just flip it over onto a chopping board or something like that. Now, you see, the magic of flipping your cake over is nobody knows that underneath it was slightly dented in. And here's another little trick, which I should have done before I put the cake on. Put a little bit of your icing on the bottom of your cake stand, and then it's less inclined to wobble or roll all over the place. Okay, so it's still a little bit warm. Will I run the risk of putting no, I'm going to wait. I'll come back in another couple of minutes, because if I put cream cheese on there, as you can imagine, it's like butter and cheese. If you buttered your toast when your toast is still hot, it just goes. So I'm going to wait another couple of minutes. Okay, we're now finally cool enough. Now, if you look in here, you'll see this is the amount of cream cheese that's recommended for this recipe. I totally would double that. Would you, Maria?
Definitely.
Totally would be doubling that, because we just love our cream cheese. However, well, just for the sake of giving you an idea of what this amount is, maybe it'll be enough. Sometimes what I like to do is make this cake in a loaf tin, like a bread loaf tin, and then slice it down the middle like this way, and put a layer of cream cheese in the middle as well, because who does not love the cream cheese bit? Nobody in this house does not love it. That's really great grammar there, isn't it, Maria? So this was a lovely Saturday afternoon treat for whenever we get to the point where we have visitors again and you want to have something nice ready just in case somebody drops by. Oh, the joy. I'm trying to get these last little bits off my spatula and onto the cake. I do have a few little lumpy bits in there, but that's because my cream cheese wasn't at room temperature. Remember I told you that? Okay, sorry. Absolutely yummy, yummy, yummy little carrot cake. Super easy. If you wanted to, you could put little bits of pecan nuts on the top there and slice them up into little squares. Hope you get a chance to bake on a Saturday. God bless. Thanks for watching.